Well, transplant is very much a team sport, and that involves the team both here at Emory as well as a much broader team. It involves, probably most importantly, the donors, the donor families, the living donors that are the critical element to allow transplant to take place. In Ken's case, it was his father was the donor. And without the donors, without the organ procurement organization, which in our case is LifeLink of Georgia, there wouldn't be transplant. Once we have an organ, it takes a huge multidisciplinary team to provide high quality care, and that involves many medical specialties, many nursing specialties, many pharmacy specialties, all of whom come together to provide what we all want, and that's excellent outcomes in the long term.
My name is Ken Sutha. I was diagnosed with kidney disease when I was about 10 years old, something called focal segmental glomerular sclerosis, or FSGS. By the time I was graduating from college and moving to Atlanta to start medical school, I knew that I would need to have a transplant, a kidney transplant, or start on dialysis to survive. Fortunately, my dad was able to donate his kidney to me, and so on April 14th, 2006, I had a kidney transplant and was able to return back to school, and felt great and was able to do all kinds of things I wasn't able to do before transplant. About a decade later, I had had some issues with infections and trying to adjust my immunosuppression, so my transplanted kidney from my dad ended up failing, and I ended up having to go back on dialysis. I was on dialysis for about 2 years before receiving the call that I would be receiving a kidney from a deceased donor back in July of 2018. Since that time, I've been doing really great and feeling very good.
Ken had a very good outcome with his transplant, but his transplant didn't last forever, and I think that just reinforces the importance and value of research, of innovation to make transplants work better and work longer in the long term for the patients in need.
My kidney transplant team at Emory was amazing, led by my surgeons Dr. Pearson and Dr. Larson, as well as many nephrologists, including Dr. Tata. I had excellent care while I was at Emory. Dr. Larson came and spoke to our group of admitted MD PhD students and was telling us about the research being done at Emory in developing new treatments for transplant and transplant rejection.
Most importantly in all of that has been the actual implementation of this drug in clinical practice post FDA approval, and that's been extremely important and extremely dependent upon the multidisciplinary team here at Emory, all working together to rationally figure out how to apply this drug in our actual clinical environment.
Through the Georgia Transplant Foundation, I was able to participate in programs like the Mentor Project and was able to meet and talk with somebody who had had a transplant before while I was still waiting for a kidney. In meeting my mentor, I was able to learn about what life would be like after transplant, and it was the first opportunity that I had to really have a chance to talk in depth with somebody who was going through similar things that I was going through.
I think what makes Emory special is the people, and the people here that really care, that really want the patients to do better, are very involved in the care of the patient in front of us today, but also passionate about improving the care for these patients in the longer term.
I was fortunate to receive a scholarship from the Georgia Transplant Foundation. I received the Meg Jeffrey Memorial Scholarship that was able to support my study both for my MD at Emory and my PhD at Georgia Tech. Meg was such a wonderful person. She was never a stranger to anybody and was always one of my biggest supporters. And so it was really such an amazing experience and honor to be the recipient of her scholarship.